Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's return to Taking Strahd Seriously. The day is June 18th? 2019, and you are loved. And because it is Pride Month, I also want to make a special note to all of our friends who are celebrating, all of the people that we know and all of the people that we don't know. I would like to let you all know that we believe in you, that you are making the best possible choice that you can, and nobody knows how to do that better than you. So, I just want to let you know, we got your back. And that's always important to remember. And other things that are important to remember is we do this show Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right here at twitch.tv/Indoor Adventures. We got a homebrew game, Curse of Strahd, One Shot Wednesdays, and we also have Ghost of Saltmarsh on Thursday. So if any of those sound good to you, consider stopping by, coming back, checking it out. Or you can go to youtube.com/Indoor Adventures and check out all of our VODs there. Or if you are an audiocast kind of person, hey, if you like listening to stuff, putting us in your ears, then you could go to either indooradventures.podbean.com, or you could go to any place that has audiocasts and you will find us there, including places like Spotify, Google Podcasts, Overcast, Stitcher, Apple iTunes, like I said, anywhere. And if we are not there, let me know, and I will put us on the gosh danged map. Other than that, I was almost gonna say that was it, but guys, I don't have a mug to show you because it is currently in the dishwasher. But did you know we have merch? We have new merch. We have our battle mugs. We have bigger battler mugs. We have character busts of our Waterdeep friends. We got the Stompfoot Goreblast Gymnasium tank tops, t-shirts, pullover hoodies. We also have other clothes that you can all find, clothes, posters, stuff that you can find at bit.ly/adventure merch. Where we have a plethora of things that we want to provide to all of you because you guys are incredibly supportive and I always appreciate it. We also have a Patreon set up, so if you are interested in supporting the show via a follow, subscription on Twitch, or if you are looking for a cheaper option, there's always patreon.com/Indoor Adventures, because we have patrons level starting at just $1, and all of the money that goes that we get ends up going to help the quality of the show, and that includes things like new icons, new lighting, new cameras. All of that sort of stuff is made possible because of you guys, so thank you. We also have an after show that we do, so if you're interested in finding out more about all of these lovely people in the show that are in that ways, then consider supporting us on Patreon, because it gets you access to Nights in the Courtyard. Other than that, I think that's it for me. So, RJ, who are you playing tonight?
Hello everybody, I am RJ and I am playing Bartholomew, also known as Speedy, the Human Ranger.
Hi, I'm LB and I'm going to be playing Silme, the Wizard Half-Elf.
I am the Indoor Adventurer, and tonight I will be playing as Kefris Malrezka, the Mongrel Folk Barbarian.
I'm Wings, also known as Danae Keener, and I'm going to be the GM for tonight. So let's get started with the recap. Last time, the Malrezkas discussed Madame Ava's card reading with Fershi Petrovich, while Bartholomew made amends with his mother. Maybelle and Silme took Leo to the toy store to pick out something and interrogate Blinsky about Izik's dolls. They learned that Izik has a terrible fixation with Irina and decided to get her out of town as quickly as possible. That night, Kefris was beset by a terrible nightmare accompanied by a despicable cackle. After unceremoniously leaving Myrtle with Bartholomew's parents, the group abandoned Leo and Vallaki and set out to take Irina to Krezk, where she will finally, hopefully, be safe. But first they plan to scout out Lake Baratok, a suspected location of an ancient artifact they can use to fight Strahd. Bartholomew, What path do you intend to guide the group down to reach Lake Baratok? Are you going to go down the Old Svalich Road, which will be safer but take longer? Or are you going to take them on the Hunter's Path, which will be shorter but more dangerous?
I think for a few minutes he stopped by the side of the road and like just opened up the slot that's like in between the driver's seat and the carriage, and like, so we have two options. We can go down the Old Svalich Road. It's a little bit longer, but it's a lot safer than the Hunter's Path.
Also, I should ask, did you take Tyr with you?
No, I left her.
Okay.
Well, when you say safer, what exactly would we be up against if we went down there?
All manner of beasties inside the old Hunter's Path. You might encounter some werewolves. You might encounter some... What would be some things that we'd have to like fight off? Is it more like
Mostly
hazardous or like as in like we have to make
it's less dangerous traveling during the day, but right now you'd probably be more concerned about wolves just in general. You could also be worried about wild men, which are more common out in the western part of Vallaki, or west of Vallaki in Barovia.
There's also wild men who like to roam around in the Hunter's Path. It's having a carriage like this paints a giant target on our backs.
Yes, I was just going to say, I think if anything, we should try the safer route just for the horses. If we were on foot, maybe we would have a better chance, but not with these.
Well, no one should know we are traveling at the moment, so I don't see any reason to be in any rush. Nobody is following us.
That we know of.
Why would you put that out there? Why would you
I'm
say
sorry,
this?
I'm a realist, Caprice.
I know.
All right, well,
Take the path.
still, everyone, be on the lookout. As some outsiders say, shit might go sideways.
There are ladies present, Speedy.
I have heard you say way worse. I'm going to climb up on top of the cart, and just be a second set of eyes. Can't hurt.
All right, everybody else is inside the cart.
Speedy's just on the front, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he driving.
Yeah. All right, so Irina has put on a hood and cloak, the way that you do when you're in Dungeons and Dragons and you want to hide your identity or lay low. And hopefully that's going to keep her safe in this interim. I would like both Speedy and Kefris to roll perception checks.
First roll of new
As they
dice,
are
let's
one-
see it. That's not
Keeping a
bad.
lookout for danger.
A 13.
8 and 13. All right.
I rolled
So, Kefris, you're kind of keeping a wary eye on. Well, what specifically would you be looking for?
Good.
In terms of like it.
I was going to say I had to roll at disadvantage because I have one level of exhaustion because I didn't sleep last night. But I ended up rolling higher than a 13, so I was still good on that. Still fine. Right. I am looking out for wolves and wild men and any really fashionable looking women standing alone in the middle of fields beckoning with a single finger towards the cart.
Amazing. All right. So as you are sort of scanning the trees, looking for any number of those things, an odd shape catches your eye, looking down the road, you can see kind of a lump or a bundle just sort of nestled into the fork of a tree branch. And it doesn't look natural. It seems like it was placed there.
I will point that out to Speedy. Just what the fuck is that?
Speedy pulls the cart over and do you know how to stay here?
Do I know how to what? Climb a tree?
I was gonna say use a crossbow so you can back me up whilst I go check, but
Oh.
okay, Mr. Assuming Pants.
I'm
I
tired.
could use a crossbow.
I still can use the crossbow.
Well, I only have one, so figure it out. And he passes the crossbow up into the...
Silme will lean over to Irina. I'm not that good of a shot. You can definitely take it. I just wanted to be helpful.
Irina smiles and takes the crossbow.
Just gonna draw my silver dagger as I try and look at this bundle.
All right. It doesn't seem to be anything living. Just a bundle sitting in the fork of the tree. You can see that it's some sort of cloth.
Should I make an athletics check to climb up?
I'll let you just have it. You can shimmy, like basically just plant your boot in a low branch in the tree and get up there. It seems like somebody about your height would have been able to do the exact same thing. And you pull this bundle down and kind of unravel it, and you find that it's just a set of clothes.
Women's clothes or men's clothes?
Men's clothes, like just a like a normal Barovian resident. And as you're kind of shuffling around with this bundle of clothes, you can see a couple of raven feathers fall to the floor.
Tilts his head. This is a very odd time and place to go skinny dipping, I guess. Puts the thing... Is there any gold in any of the... or coin in any of the pockets?
Yeah, sure. I'll say like an electrum or two falls out of the pockets.
Sucks to suck.
Ooh, so... Silme's gonna lean over to Irina again. When werewolves change, do they change out of their clothing? Or is it more of a physical, like, they're just pointy teeth and stuff? Or do they get bigger?
I do not know. I've never seen this happen.
Right.
And she looks like she's about to ask Bartholomew and then realizes that would require her talking to Bartholomew and decides to not be so curious.
Sylvie looks at her. Bartholomew, Speedy.
Bethel's about to be weird. Speedy's putting the clothes back into the tree and walking back.
What does a werewolf look like?
Hey, GM.
Yeah. What does a werewolf look like?
What do I know about what werewolves look like and the transformations of said werewolves?
All right. You know that there are several... There are basically two forms, I guess technically three forms that a werewolf can take on. They can go full wolf, or they can assume a hybrid form, which is basically half man, half wolf, which is something that is greater than the sum of its parts. It's bigger than the man would be and bigger than the wolf would be. It's basically if you took the man and the wolf and just smashed them together, then they basically have that much mass.
And you forgot about the fourth form, which is Aha. Take on me. So werewolves take on three forms. The first form is their human form, which they use to integrate themselves into society. The second form, more suited for the wilderness, is a wolf form. And its final form is an abomination, half man, half wolf. Good for killing both us and them.
So one would assume that when a person, if they have the ability to realize the change is coming or even do it themselves, they might remove their clothing for such a change.
With Laszlo, when I saw him shift, his clothing shifted as well, right?
He entered his wolf form.
But he didn't
So-
discard any clothing.
I think that this implication would be that, yeah, his clothes straight up fell off.
Okay.
Probably ripped everywhere.
Yep. It's kind of like the Hulk rules,
uh,
where they've he's those purple shorts for some reason are able to stay on.
If there was forewarning to a change such as that, and Speedy's climbing up to get the horses going again, yes, they could take their clothes off preemptively.
And perhaps hide them up in a tree so that no one would steal them. I'm saying that we might want to be on guard for such things. And I think we've lingered here a bit too long.
Hopefully they cannot smell you on their clothes.
That makes a lot of sense. Speedy, you hunt werewolves, yes?
Sense.
I've hunted regular wolves.
Oh, have you ever seen a werewolf?
Why, yes. I've seen a werewolf. It
Oh.
was recently.
Was that the first time? Was that your first werewolf?
Would have been my first werewolf.
That's entirely up to you.
I have seen one other werewolf, and it was during a trial.
Oh.
Oh fuck.
Wow, that was an instant backstory tragedy. Nice.
Yes.
Right, okay, well, brother,
Yeah.
extra vigilant, please?
Yes. I am most vigilant right now. I mean, just 1,000 yards staring off into distance.
I guess if there's downtime, I have a question for Irina.
Yeah, absolutely. Travel time is 100% downtime.
Especially for those of us in the cart.
That's right.
Irina, I know every land is different. What are the views here on relationships that are non heteronormative?
Probably not as. I don't know. What are the views on non-heteronormative relationships outside?
Well, some people are very opposed to the idea. Mostly it's a class thing, I think, with where we come from.
Well, I would say that everyone is different. There is much disparity between each village on various things. I think you would have to ask each individual person to know for sure.
Is it
In the village of Barovia, we have bigger things to worry about. I don't think anyone would really bat an eye or care about that. In Vallaki, the aristocracy might look down at you, but the common folk probably have a similar idea about it as those in Barovia. Krezk, I have no idea. I've never met anyone from Krezk. They're very secretive.
Good. Your views?
Mine?
Hmm?
I am from Barovia. I have no time to worry about such things.
Oh, just curious. Thank you.
I did like someone. I think I liked her ideas more than I actually liked her.
Yes, that can happen. Good. Well, thank you for that information. How long will it take us to get there?
A little less than an hour to get to Lake Baratok specifically. So, I'm not even kidding. Trying to figure out overland speed in Barovia is so pointless because the entire trip that you guys are going to take today, taking the longest way around is going to take less than 3 hours the whole way there. All the way from Vallaki to Lake Baratok to Krezk. So,
Nice.
so long as you guys don't dilly-dally too long, you probably won't have to stay outside.
Is that
tonight.
a challenge, I hear?
What if we decided to go back to Barovia and then stop at Castle Ravenloft and then just start like this Mario Kart mini circuit around Barovia?
Well, you guys would have to start hawking for D&D Beyond while I did some math for that. But and nobody wants that, so oh look,
D&D
we're at Lake Baratok now.
That was fast.
Feels like we've been out here
So-
for hours.
The carriage rolls out of the trees and Lake Baratok spreads out in front of you. It's much smaller than Lake Zarovich, about an fifth, I'll say a fifth of the size. And you guys kind of run up alongside a river as you approach it. And out in the middle of the lake, there is a small inlet. And on said inlet, there is a tower that is about 4 or 5 stories high, and it just looks really dilapidated and run down. There seems to be scaffolding along the side as though somebody were trying to do renovations at some point and then just gave up halfway through. And then next to the tower, there is another carriage. There's also a land bridge. It's an inlet, I said. I said an inlet instead of an island, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's an inlet. So it's basically an island with a land bridge that goes right up to it. And there it is.
All right, well, the card said... What did I have in my notes about this?
Ah, it's the cards.
That it
Which one are we
was that it was inside of the tower or around it.
Look for a wizard's tower on a lake. Let the wizard's name and servant guide you to that which you seek.
Oh fuck, Speedy, do you know the name of the wizard that was here?
History check.
Nine.
Nope.
Sorry to say, I don't recall anything about this tower in this lake.
Why is there a second card here?
That was my question.
From where we are, does it look?
Be the wizard.
Is it hitched? Like, are there horses or?
There are no horses hitched to this cart. There's just like all of the equipment to hitch to a horse, but it's just lying unused on the ground.
How much land is there around the tower?
How much land is around the tower?
Yeah, like Go ahead.
I'd say it's about 30 feet in like, say like if you like started a line from the tower to the shore, that's 30 feet, and that's just in the whole direction.
Okay.
The whole way around.
Maybe it's the wizard. Maybe he's the one who lives here, and kind of calling his name is, asking whose house this is.
What about the servant?
It's like a butler? Or maybe it's kind of like a thing that you and Maybelle have? I don't know.
We could make assumptions all we'd like, but we have two options right now.
Well, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, one is we go up to the tower and we find out what's going on. Or two, we go to Krezk.
Well, we're here. I mean, I know enough about wizardry. I mean, I might not be the most powerful wizard, but I know something. I've read a lot.
Well, study and practical application are two different things, as I have found out. There we go.
Yeah, let's pop in and see. First, I would like to take about 10 minutes, if we can. I have a spell that might help us out in the tower, depending on what type of wizard this is.
Interesting.
Sounds fine.
All right.
What is the spell?
I would like to cast Comprehend Language on myself.
Comprehend languages?
Yes. Sorry, I'll say it not weird.
Is this a concentration spell or
It is
a
a ritual. It's not concentration.
Interesting.
Mhm.
All right. I'm on board for this.
Yeah. So I kind of sit down in the back, open up my book. If Kefris would like to look at it, it is impeccably written. Like things are written like 6 different times. I grab out of my bag, I grab a pinch of soot from a fire, and then ask Maybelle for a pinch of salt.
Mm-hmm. Which she hands to you as though she already knows what you're doing and what this is all about. She just has it ready to go.
Yeah, and she'll kind of mix it in her hands, like take some of it and rub it on her eyes, and then it kind of like there's a little magical effect and it soaks into her skin. Ooh, I love that one. Right, I'm ready.
All right, what do you do?
Drive the cart forward.
Do we want to drive the cart? Do we want to walk on foot?
I think we should walk up there, because it might be protected by something. I mean, most wizards' towers are.
I think we should take the cart because it'll be closer to the tower, just in case we need to make a getaway.
It's fair.
How close do you take the cart to the tower?
Why you gotta ask it like that?
I'm gonna take it as close to the tower as we can, and I'm gonna do like the 3-pointed turn so that we can have the cart facing outwards towards the land.
Okay. Are you gonna park it next to the other cart, or?
Sure. Why do you gotta ask it like that?
I need to know where everything is. I'm the GM. That's
There's a
my
battle
prerogative.
map.
Yeah, I'll park it up next to the other cart, and I'll give the other cart a look. Like, is it dilapidated?
No, it's actually very well taken care of. You recognize it as a Vistani card, and it seems like it's got a fresh coat of paint on it. And there is a sign hanging off of the back door that says "Keep Out."
It says "Keep Out."
Oh, it's in common.
Oh, sorry.
I am going to go and knock on the door.
No, don't touch the door.
It's
The carriage door?
no, the door to the building. I'm gonna knock on it. It says keep out, but I'm just seeing if anybody's home.
No, the carriage door is the one that says "Keep Out."
Oh, yeah. No, I'm just gonna... I was thinking that we were talking about there was a back door to the tower that I was going to knock on. That was it.
No.
No, I don't want to touch the carriage. It looks like it has wet paint on it.
Oh, blood.
Okay. So, I need to make a distinction between the carriage and the tower.
Yes.
The carriage is the one that has the keep out sign on the back. The tower itself has something different in terms of markings. It has this circular sign on it with strange... I can't see where it's...
That way.
I sent you guys a thing in the chat,
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
and it looks like that.
Cool. Oh, sorry.
And above the tower, or above the door to the entrance to the tower, in the masonry, there is one particularly large stone that kind of stands out from the rest of the bricks. And carved into that stone is the face of a dragon.
Sorry, carved in the stone is what?
Carved into the stone is the face of a dragon.
Oh.
And the
Oh.
shape of the stone is kind of like a shield.
Okay.
Don't knock on the door.
And then Kefris knocks on the door.
Yeah, I was going to knock on the door and see who's home.
All right, DC 15 dex save, please.
Why don't you listen to your sister?
Because I'm tired. Normally I would have danger sense on this, but regular roll.
You are in fact a barbarian, yes?
Yes.
You have danger sense.
Yes, but it cancels because I have or no, this
What
is a
level of
save.
exhaustion?
So exhaustion only
Yes,
counts.
exhaustion doesn't
Yes.
deal with saves.
Nice.
Well,
not at this level. That's a natural 20.
Nice. So you're gonna take half of this.
Wish you were a rogue now,
I never wished I was a rogue.
22.
What?
32 lightning damage.
As
Oh.
halved?
Half of 32 lightning.
Oh.
Oh!
Ooh, okay, that's fine.
All right, so you walk up to the door and rap on it, and instantly the sky darkens as a cloud just appears above the tower, and a lightning bolt strikes a spire at the top of the tower and just wreathes the whole thing in a net of lightning, and you are blown backwards as you take that damage.
Kefris!
Papa was right. What the hells?
I told you not to touch the door.
I thought I was being polite. I was knocking.
It's a wizard's tower. Have you ever heard no stories about wizards?
Yes, they don't have front doors usually. There's usually like an army of undead or some bullshit in front of them. What the hell?
Kefris.
Was your dad trying to get in there? Is that
Irina
why?
just looks over at Bartholomew whilst they're bickering back and forth, and she goes, "Kaplow, kaplow."
Ow.
She starts to smile, and then gets a really stern look on her face and looks away.
Kefris, you must understand.
Oh,
This is a very dangerous place. You
I.
cannot just go walking into things. No. Don't talk back to me. This is my area of expertise now, all right? I know you're the big brother, but this is my thing, okay? Let me do it.
Okay.
I will extend my hand to Kefris to pull him up and cast Cure Wounds.
Look,
against him.
I told your dad that in the circumstance I would take a lightning bolt for you. I just didn't think that it would actually happen.
Why will you think ahead? Kefris, and she like Picard pops her dress, gets out of the carriage. She's gonna walk over to the other carriage,
Ow.
see that there is a sign on it. I would like to see if there is anything else that I notice about this, perhaps with an Arcana check.
Yes, absolutely.
Oof. How much was that carolins for?
8? Great. Okay. This seems to be a fairly mundane cart. You suspect that there might be something more to it, but you can't really necessarily sense anything magical about it.
All right, this is not the wizard's cart, I'm assuming. So just don't touch it. It says keep out, so we'll keep out of that, all right? And then she's gonna... What?
No, unless the wizard is Vistani, which I don't think they are.
I don't know. She's gonna walk up to the door and try and decipher what this text is.
Okay.
Bartholomew's gonna take a walk
God,
Where?
What does that mean?
around the perimeter of the tower to see if there's anything else.
Absolutely. As you circumnavigate the tower, you can see that there is the scaffolding goes up to each floor of the tower, and that there is a ladder among the scaffolding. Perception check.
Oh, for myself.
Yes.
Sorry.
And this time I'm dooming perception instead of persuasion, which is the other P word.
16.
16? All right, yeah. You can see that there are just like ramshackle holes among the tower. It is conceivable that you might be able to find a way in via the scaffolding. Though it does look rickety.
The inner Caleb in me wants to go. He'll circle back around to where they are.
So, Silme, you are looking at this door.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing to try and figure it out?
I'm going to... I would like to do an Arcana check on it to see if I can decipher anything about it.
All right.
Yeah.
Please do.
Fucking 8.
God damn.
That's 2 different dice that rolled a 3. Thank you.
All right.
The spirits are not with me tonight.
There is certainly... How close do you get to the tower?
Probably like 10 feet away.
Okay. There's certainly something magical about it, since it freaking zapped Kefris. It seemed to be activated by touch.
Okay. I'm going to... Do I know how big that thunderbolt was?
How big that what?
The lightning bolt, sorry.
Oh, you know what? I forgot about something that is kind of important. That net of lightning is still there.
Oh! Around the whole building?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How,
Just
like...
kind of crackling and popping.
Okay. Could I use prestidigitation? If I'm not going to get hit by the lightning 10 feet away, we can retcon that if I need to be further away. Could I use prestidigitation to make it feel like there is a hand on the doorknob?
Make the doorknob feel like there's a hand on the doorknob.
Yes. Harmless sensory effect.
You're essentially trying to replicate the effects of a hand on the doorknob.
Yes.
Like warmth and
yeah.
texture and stuff.
Yeah.
That's interesting. All right. I'm gonna say nothing happens.
Okay.
Since this effect has already been triggered.
Okay. Interesting. Well, we can either wait for it to go away. I don't have anything. Wait, let me look. And I'm just going to start going through my bag.
Is it a giant, like... it's a net of lightning around the entire building?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like somebody took a chain link fence made out of lightning bolts and just wrapped it around the whole tower.
Lovely.
Is
I mean, if I could see inside, I could probably get in.
Well, we could always just break our way in. There's some scaffolding. It's a bit rickety, but there are places to get into the building.
Does it go all the way up, or is it just around the door?
Goes around the left side of the building. So you're looking at the building, your left. And it goes a little ways around the back. And the scaffolding itself goes up to the 3rd floor.
Is it on the right side or the left side? The scaffolding.
You're looking at the
Yeah.
looking at the building, your left.
So it is covered in. Oh, I'm sorry. Is the electricity around the whole building?
Oh yes, the electricity is around the whole building.
Like all the way up?
Yes.
Okay. Because I don't think that would work very well since, electricity is covering the entire thing. But perhaps if we grounded it in some way.
There is a wizard. There's somebody in there. There is a wizard. There's someone who knows how to get in.
Are you all right, Kevin?
I am so tired and just have so many volts of electricity running through me right now.
I feel like that should have woken you up, but it's all right.
The insides are going much faster than the outsides, I will tell you what.
All right.
For being bare, Silme. He's a bit out of his comfort zone.
I know.
If I threw my maul at the side wall and made a hole, would you be able to...
Let's not, because if there's any magical bullshit on this tower, that maul will probably bounce off and hit you with the...
Wait, how tall is the building?
It's about 4 stories tall.
4 stories tall, okay.
So assume like 40 feet to the top.
Okay, so scaffolding, there's probably an opening into the building. If you got on top of the cart, sister, would you be able to get in there?
Probably.
If not for the chain link of electricity going around.
Oh, that's not a worry for me.
What?
Silme, I can fly.
You can fly, you can fly, you can fly.
That's true. I want to try something first before we go too far, all right? I am...
Listen, if I think that you're going to try what I think you're going to try, you're going to be stuck in there without me.
No, that's what I'm... No, I'm not that thing that I'm going to try.
I'm so concerned what this sister are going to try.
I'm wondering if I can break the sigil on the door. Will it break the spell?
Stands to reason.
Speedy,
What sigil are you trying to break on the door?
isn't there the one that you showed us? Is that the one, or is that on the cart? And
There's a circle on the door.
right.
Strange markings
Yeah,
in sort of a clock formation, and then like a weird sigil in the middle.
right. Probably the sigil in the middle. Speedy, is it made of wood? Sorry,
The door itself
is the
made of wood.
sigil
The sigil is copper.
copper?
Oh, actually, no. The door is made of metal. No,
Oh,
no, it's wood.
okay. Speedy, I just want to try something. Could you shoot a crossbow bolt in the center of that sigil?
I could give it a try.
She'll motion and step back.
Speedy stops next to Irina and, like, gingerly holds his hand out for his hand crossbow.
Oh, yeah. Irina remembers she has your hand crossbow and gives it back.
Thank you. Loads a bolt, aims at the door, tries to hit dead center with a Barracuda. Dirty 20.
Nice. You hit it dead center. Clang! And then the lightning seems to just bat the bolt away.
Interesting. No, I don't have
think
anything.
that at this point, enough time has passed, and the lightning fizzles twice, and then the whole net just drops.
Oh, wonderful. Don't touch the door. Shall we? And she motions to the scaffolding. Don't touch the actual tower until I get there, all right? Let's go to what? Kefris, I swear to the gods.
I really want to. You've told me not to, and now it makes me want to do it all the more.
I'm gonna slap Kefris on the back of the head as he walks past.
All right. I trust you.
Picard Pap.
We should probably get on this scaffolding one at a time. It is not the safest that I've ever seen. Not that I've ever taken a structural integrity class in my life.
I can climb pretty good. I've gotten better at it since being here. If we could touch the tower, I could just go on up the side.
How long did it take for the magic to fizzle out the first time?
Roughly 10 minutes.
Well, Melareska, if you do, I hope you can take another hit just in case that activates the tower.
We'll find out, won't we?
Yeah, no, I think it's best if we just go one at a time.
Look, lightning can't strike
I'll go
twice. Not in the same place. Don't be ridiculous.
You would be
Definitely it
surprised.
did, because it hit his dad.
Oh,
Twice.
shit.
So
God,
you've got one more in you.
at least one.
Right. I'm going to go first. Are you comfortable flying up there with me, Maybell?
Oh, you're going to fly.
No. I'm not going to fly. I will climb the scaffolding. And because it is rickety, I don't think both of us should be up there at the same time. But if you're flying, right. Are you comfortable doing that in front of present company?
Oh, of course. There's no more secrets between us.
All right. She'll give her hand a little squeeze and gross. She'll give her hand a little squeeze and then start climbing the cat.
Did we remember to tell Irina?
What? Oh.
Maybell's gonna go over to Irina, and there is a fevered moment of dropping like the biggest truth bomb. She explains that she's a devil. Evidently, she's dead now. She's in a relationship with Silme, and she can turn into an owl. Did I forget to tell the rest of you about that? I can turn into an owl, I'm sorry.
No, that one's new for me.
Right. We don't need to do it over an hour, right? She can just do it.
I'd say take roughly 10 minutes to pull off.
All right. Yeah. So I'm gonna have her do that, and then I'm gonna start climbing the scaffolding.
All right. Give me.
Acrobatics.
Can I give her some coaching as she's going up for advantage?
Speedy, do not stand directly beneath me. I am in a dress.
Going strictly by the book, you don't need to make a check.
Oh, cool.
You're just climbing this rotting wood that kind of creaks underneath you as you make your way up.
Wonderful. So the first window I get to, can I see inside without touching the window?
Yes, you can
see
peek
a
in through the window. God, that's horrifying. You peek in through the window, and what you can see is a fairly well-preserved interior of a wizard's tower. There are bookshelves and in the center of the room, there is some sort of platform surrounded by 4 statues.
Interesting. Can I take a look at the window?
The
And see
window
if
itself,
and see if it's protected
as far, like,
arcanally.
magically?
Yes.
Arcanically? Well, if you
Arcanic?
have detect magic, that's the more specific way to go about something like this. But doing an arcana check will basically say warded yes, warded no.
Yeah, I don't have detect magic, but weird, right? But yes, I would like to see if it's warded. I want to know if I'm going to die if I touch this because I'm squishy.
All right. It is also just like a wrought iron. Ooh.
That was really close.
To
the 17 is so rolling another 3. The 17 is next to the 3, and it went bloop 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 bloop.
And then it went over to 17.
Yes, it's a 22.
Okay.
You are the most teas of a dice I've ever owned.
Okay. The window itself is not warded, but when you get closer, you can smell like the scent of ozone in the air. And once you get like within about 5 feet of the tower itself, you can feel your connection to your personal supply of magic, your ability sever.
Oh,
and that probably shocks you a little bit. So like you dagger back and then you feel it like reconnect again like a magnet.
Oh, I didn't like that. All right. She's gonna. So I can't do magic if I'm really close to the tower? I don't know how it works in the tower. I don't know how it works if I try to magic through. I don't think my magic will work. She's gonna look up at the owl flying by her. I don't know if my magic will work if I try to misty step in there. Because it stops. But I'm on a different plane of existence, technically. She looks at the bird.
The owl will land on a piece of scaffolding and kind of tip its head questioningly with a very clear, worried look in its eye.
Yes. Don't give me that look, Maybelle. This is all part of the adventure.
Speaking of, Maybelle was transformed into a white owl by Silme. A little horned owl.
Yeah.
All right.
Only one horn.
Well, yeah, you just one horn, right? The feathers on the other side are horn. All right. I'm going to try something.
I'm going to brace to catch my sister. She falls.
Fucking.
Both Kefris and Speeder, they're like just bracing and waiting.
Okay. She's going to pull out a she's gonna pull out the Russian nesting doll she has. She's going to take apart one of the things and put the rest of them back, put it back together, and is there a sill?
Yes.
Okay, she's going to put it on the sill, like, and let go before it touches the actual sill, so she'll, like, set it and see if anything happens.
All right. It lands on the sill and just kind of, like, rattles back and forth and then settles.
All right,
Nothing
and then
happens.
she's gonna press the. Oh, she can't press the digitate. Wait, if she digitates frost on the window, does it frost? If she's standing 10 feet back?
Yes.
Solid. Shit.
Some frost will spiderweb across the window pane.
All right. Okay. She's going to try to Misty Step in there. 10 feet
Into the
back.
building.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's not, well, like at the edge of the scaffolding, so she's not in the no magic thing.
All right.
And she just like Nightcrawler out of existence.
All right.
And I'm gonna try to land inside. Hopefully like on the edge of the room, so I'm not like trigger a pressure plate or something.
All right. So you land inside the room. And you look around, and you can see the same thing that you saw before. Lots of bookshelves just lining the walls. And what you see in front of the door, just kind of out of sight of where the window was allowing you to see, there's a lectern with a book on it.
Oh.
And it's facing the door.
Cool. She is going to attempt to open the window.
All right. I don't think this is the kind of window that opens. This is just like the wrought iron. There are windows like that.
Yeah.
It just doesn't open.
It's like a porthole window.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
like it's set directly into the pane, and there's no mechanism to pop it open.
All right. Silme's gonna look out the window, wave to Maybell, and then she's gonna say,
Yep.
"I'm gonna go downstairs. I'm gonna go open the door."
Okay. She nods. And while you're standing inside this building, you can tell that your magic has been severed from you again.
Okay. She is going to move very carefully through this room and attempt to get to the door to get downstairs to let her friends in.
All right. Nothing happens. You get to the door. Roll me a perception check.
Okay. It's going well so far. Big day out. That's an 11.
An 11? All right. No biggie. So you walk past those statues and you head to the door. And as you walk past that book with that lectern with the book on it, you can see that it's open, and it seems to have like lines for people to write their names on. And in big letters at the top, it says, "I solemnly swear to do no harm." And then like it seems to continue in smaller letters, and then those letters get smaller and smaller as it gets to the bottom of the page. And closer inspection reveals that it seems to be some sort of contract.
Oh.
But you were going to open the door.
Does it allow me to?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh. Absolutely. This is a wizard's tower, Danae. Don't act like that.
From the inside, the door opens easily.
All right. She's gonna like lean out of the door. Hello. Hi. Just gonna go get the door. Sorry for trespassing, but we couldn't knock. If there is anyone here, be back in a tick. Sorry for breaking in. And she's gonna attempt to find the stairs to get down to the door.
Oh, no. You're on the first floor.
Oh, okay. Okay,
the first
perfect.
floor, the door would have been the door outward.
Oh, I see. Okay. I got it. Are there stairs in here going up?
There are no stairs.
Oh, odd. Okay. She opens the door. Hi.
Yep. No problems.
Just take a step in. Good job.
Thank you.
As Kefris takes a step in, Bartholomew takes a step back just in case.
Yes. Kefris enters the tower unmolested.
Why do you have to say it like that?
That's what it means.
That's what it means.
Bartholomew walks in.
All right, Bartholomew, as you walk into the tower, you can feel something inside you, like, snap. Just, like, and you feel that you can no longer reach your spells.
Oh, yes, the tower has cut off all of my magic use.
Arena steps in, and Maybell will try to flutter in and will run smack dab into an invisible wall.
Oh no. Shit.
She could watch
Sorry,
over the cart.
There are ladies present.
Would you mind watching the cart?
She shakes her head after having run into, like, essentially what was just a glass window pane.
Yeah.
And then she will nod and go fly over to the cart.
Sorry, I hope you're okay.
She turns her head completely around and gives you, like, the slow blink of, like, it's okay.
All right. So, looming figures. There's a book over there that says it's a contract. Now, I haven't read it fully, obviously, because I just opened the door for you. But it might be good for us to read it before signing, obviously. Contract.
As nobles, your first instinct would be that this is a guest book.
Oh.
And then after reading a little ways down, it seems to be more than a guest book. It's like you're promising to use magic within the tower as a friend, to not harm Kazan or his property at all. And like the writing gets more and more specific and more technical as it goes down, and like gets so small that it's almost illegible towards the bottom of the page.
But it says that we will not harm Kazan or his property.
Mm-hmm.
Kefris just stands. Kazan.
Bless you.
No, that's the name of the wizard. It's Kazan. I'll say it again.
Yes.
Just hoping that, like, there's just, like, a mystical cutscene kind of thing. But it's not
I've
gonna
solved the puzzle.
As you say Kazan, those 4 statues in the middle of the room surrounding this platform, they all just turn their heads and look at you.
Don't say that again. Do not say it again.
Hello. Sorry
Wizard?
for barging in. We would gladly sign your book. Brother, please sign the book. Thank you for allowing us to be in your establishment, and we promise, Speedy signed the book, to not do any harm to your master or the building. Irina, please sign the book. And we hope that in signing this contract, you will allow my familiar to travel with me through this beautiful place. Signs the book.
Irina, Bartholomew, you will notice that when Irina goes to sign the book, she accidentally starts her name wrong and starts it with a T and then just blots it out a whole bunch and then signs Irina Kolyana. Starts with a T, then starts with an M, and then
No me gusta.
So we all sign the book?
Okay. And as soon as you sign the book, you feel your connection to magic reignite.
Maybell, can you gingerly try to come in, please?
Yes, Maybell will fly over and land in the doorway, and then she will poke her little owl foot out, and then kind of, like feel around. Nothing happens, and she flaps a wing around there. Nothing happens, and then she just kind of hops in.
Wonderful. Would you like to rest on my shoulder, darling?
Yes, she will rest on your shoulder and turn her head around, like completely, just sort of looking around the room.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Kefris, are you doing all right with all of this? I know this is a lot for like 2 days.
It has been the longest 3 days of my whole life. We have to sign our name into a book, and statues look at us when I call the name of the man that we're supposed to call out. I feel both threatened and reassured. This is a terrible day.
She kind of takes his head in her hands, and she scratches his. He doesn't have a beard, does he?
No.
Just looking at you. Scratch your beard.
Scratch him under the chin.
Yeah.
That'll make him feel better.
She'll rub his cheeks a little bit and bend his head down and kiss his forehead. It'll be all right, Kefris.
And when he is sure that his face is pointing towards the ground and his hair is kind of blocking out, he's still thinking about his dream last night and how things are not okay for him.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Dark circles under his eyes.
Yeah.
Didn't get much sleep last night.
I mean,
No.
I've seen him doing his studies. That's pretty common.
The longer we spend here, the less okay I find myself being, but at the same time, the longer things stay weird, the quicker weird becomes the new normal.
Is that good?
I don't know.
She'll squeeze his hand and then walk away and get stuck on his hand. And Kefris, do you mind?
Oh, sorry. I'll release the gecko pads.
It's all right. And Silme will turn to the statues. Hail, good statues. Take me to your master, please.
The statues will look at you for a second, and these statues aren't very detailed. They aren't rendered with a whole lot of class.
Low poly
they're-
statues.
Yes, very roughly hewn. There's just kind of like, well, I mean, in a modern sense, they're probably pretty Art Deco, where like they have a very clear like forehead nose shape, and the rest of it's just kind of featureless.
So
and
they're like
they will look at you and then just look to the pedestal in the middle of the room. And each of these 4 statues will reach out and grab a chain that seems to be attached to a pulley.
don't like that.
Wonderful. I believe this is the elevator type situation. The way we elevate ourselves up.
Turns to Irina. What's an elevator?
I do not know, but she seems to know what she's talking about, so...
Okay.
Fake it till you make it.
Elevate means go up. So, we go up.
We go up or...
So does that mean if we go down, it's a de-elevator?
Oh.
Yes. I would like to go to the... Wait.
Getting back
Oh,
down.
okay. Sorry, I'd like to go to the pedestal.
It
So
only
we're-
goes up because it's an elevator.
So we're all getting onto the platform, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And-
And Irina and Bartholomew are kind of mumbling to each other as they do so, looking askance at this mechanism.
Kazan!
Okay. The statues begin to pull on the chains all at once in synchronous motion, and it is not a smooth ride. Like
Oh.
it's just up and up and up.
I am getting
It
down on all fours and just sticking my hands to the floor and just like a very scared cat doing the thing where it just like grabbed on.
Yes, it stays level, but like the motion upward is very jerky and very uncomfortable. You are pulled up to the 2nd floor. Now this room has some statues, has some artifacts under glass cases, more bookshelves. But the floor seems to be very unsteady here. And this elevator will sort of jumble to a stop here on the 2nd floor.
I'm sorry, can you please describe the things that are on here one more time? I was still writing 1st floor stuff.
Yes, there are some artifacts under glassed cases. There are some busts and statues. And there are more bookshelves. This seems to be a floor with just kind of storage in the educational sense.
Silme's eyes light the F up. And she's like,
Yep. Also, the floor is rotted out. Like it
Oh.
seems, yeah, like there are holes in the floor.
Watch your step.
mean,
The servant was going to take us to the artifact, right? Singular? So,
servant.
do we just keep calling out the name until our stony-looking friends here take us to where we need to go?
Well, these are powerful items. I mean, we're looking for a powerful item. We are in a room with powerful items. I mean, it's only polite that we speak to the Wizard of the Tower, yes? First, I mean, we are in it.
If he's still around, looking at like all the rotted wood on the floor.
Well, I think we should give it the good college try.
What's a college?
It's a place you go after your basic learning to get more education.
Oh, like a hunter's hut.
Yes, but imagine if you were hunting knowledge instead of wolves.
I would not even know what to shoot at knowledge.
Your mind. You shoot your thoughts at knowledge, and you hope
Absorb the power.
you hope that the hunting dogs of your memory bring that knowledge back to you.
These metaphors are confusing me. Kazan!
No!
What?
No!
Ah!
No! The books!
They aren't
You're
ours
brought
to
up
take.
the third floor. First thing you notice is that there is a big ol' hole in the wall. And the second thing you notice is that you are in a room with a bunch of chests and shelves with bottles with strange items inside. And there is a big ol' work table with papers and things scattered about. But yes, there is a hole in the wall where you can see the scaffolding out through.
Oh. Well.
Okay.
Gone up a little. It's fine. Maybell, don't say his name. Maybell. Darling, would you mind very much going and looking on the desk and telling me what he has as far as paperwork on there? Try not to disturb too much of it. Wouldn't want to be rude.
Certainly. Will you roll her a perception check as she does so? Or an investigation check if you would wish?
Rolled a 5.
5. All right. She will fly over to that table and start kind of moving papers around with her talons.
Oh wait, is this an investigation? Like add my stuff?
Yes.
That's a 10.
Oh. Then she will sort of shuffle through papers, and she's able to communicate basic emotions and things with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. You get like curiosity from her, and then like a little bit of surprise, and she will roll up a piece of paper and fly it over to you. And
I can
it
look
appears
through her eye. Oh, sorry.
Oh, you
I
can?
can look. Yeah, I can connect. I can, if she's within 100 feet, I can communicate with her telepathically. I can see through her eyes for 6 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so if you would like to do that, you may.
Yeah, just get a peek.
All right. You can see that there are recipes for potions here. There are arcane notes taken on different kinds of plants and things in the area. And there seems to be a fixation on electrical like impulses that come from plants in general. Like basically he had there you see through Mabel's eyes there is a diagram of a potato with like a nail sticking out of it, and there is a crude incandescent light bulb that is lit up.
Not sure what that is. You just see Silme's eyes are glossed over. They're completely white as she's looking.
Yes. And Maybell will notice something and bring a piece of paper over to you that she's rolled up.
Oh, thank you.
It is a letter from Strahd von Zarbage.
Oh, You see Silme's face. She opens it and she goes, ooh.
This seems to be very old. It's very nearly crumbling in your fingers, but it is addressed to Kazan, and basically it's Strahd asking about the progress of his research, wishing him well on his attempts to become a lich, and promising him a place in the castle if he so chooses.
What did it say?
So bad news bears. This is a letter from Strahd.
To who?
To the keeper of this tower.
I saw what you were doing there, you sneaky little guy.
Who was attempting to become a lich.
A what?
A lich. It's kind of an undead, almost god-like creature.
So, Miss Irina, if you would accompany me back downstairs and onto the cart, we shall leave this place.
We can't
That
leave yet.
Sounds like. Wait, what'd you say?
I said we can't leave yet.
We can kind of leave.
Good news. She offered him a place at the castle.
How is that good news?
Well, he's probably not here.
Then there's a lich in the castle!
Well, I mean, that's bad news for later, but right now, where we are, they are probably not here.
Well, good. Now we have to deal with the lich's servant, who's totally going to give us something to help our fight against Strahd.
Maybe if we're nice or we trick him.
I wonder if you say the wizard's name backwards, do you go down?
Kazan.
Up.
Yeah.
Up. All right. You move on up. I had to sit there for a second and be all like, did he just try to say the wizard's name backwards?
That's what I thought too.
I was like, no, that was forwards. All right.
And I don't feel bad about taking anything from here now.
You should feel a little bad about taking things from here. We signed a contract.
Oh, that's true.
Stealing is stealing. You get to the top floor of this tower. Now, unlike the rest of the tower, the floor is pristine. It's as though no time has passed at all. And there are signs of habitation here. It seems clear that somebody has been living in this area. There is a bed that is neatly made off to the side. There is a chest that is not in the same style as the rest of the house. It seems like it was brought here by someone else. And there is another desk with more notes just kind of scattered across it. And on the other side of the room, there is a jumbled suit of armor just kind of lying on the floor as though it fell and there it stays.
Interesting. Odd that this is the top
You can
floor.
also see the pulleys that the chains are connected to, and this doesn't seem to go up any further.
Are there any doors on this floor?
Doors? No. There are windows. They do not open.
Hello? Is anybody home?
No
I
response.
would like to take a step off of the thing.
All right. The pedestal rocks a little from the absence of weight.
Hello? My name is Silme. I am a wizard in training and wish to speak to the master of this tower if they are present.
Your voice kind of echoes around the room, and there is no response.
I'm going to go over to the table where the notes are.
Mm-hmm.
and see if I can read them. If they're in common, or if hopefully they're in common.
These are all just blank pages. There's also a stove in the corner of the room, and it seems as though like something has been burned in there recently. You can kind of smell you smell fire. There's some dark coals in there.
Well, we did the thing that we were supposed to do. Supposed to say the name, and then the servant would come and help us.
I'm gonna poke the suit of armor with my short sword.
All right. Where are you poking it?
Somebody goes, oh.
Like he just pokes like the visor and then like rolls the helmet over.
It is similar to the suit of armor that you saw back in the Death House, where it's got the wolf ears and kind of like the wolf motif going on with the whole thing. It's made of dark metal.
And that wouldn't be would that be normal, like for like aristocrats to have this sort of styled armor? Or
History check.
stay dumb, Bart. That's a 1, so a 0.
Oh, poor Bart. I will say that as nobles, you would know, and when I say as nobles, I'm talking about the Melrezkas, because they're the only ones that are nobles around here, and also Irina. She's here too. As nobles, you would know that it would be fairly common for a person who has a warlike background to gift armor to people that they found favor with.
I would like
It's a nice way of being all like, oh, look at this historical thing. So like, this is the old model. We're going to be moving on to the new one. So have one of these. Kefris, as you're standing over next to the desk, can you give me a perception check?
Not a persuasion check.
A perception check.
Yes, a 19. I like these new dice.
Excellent. You get a very distinct smell of lavender coming from that chest over next to the bed.
Going to go over to it. See if it's locked.
Doesn't seem to be.
Don't pop it open.
All right. There is a severed head lying on a pillow. It has a waxy kind of pallor to its face. It seems to be a human man with darker skin and black hair. There's some sort of embalming oils that have been used on it to keep it fresh.
And quickly shut the lid again.
Speedy walks over. What'd you find, Melaniska?
Okay, so like, real quick question. Common practices in Barovia. Delicious stew. Good. We went and had, that's a thing people do, right? Good food. We've been asked to eat with people several times since we've got here. That's a common thing that happens. Speedy, I have a really, it might seem off the wall. Is there a Barovian custom where you keep heads inside of drawers?
Oh yes, my grandmother used to no, there is no such. I don't think so. Not in my town.
All right, cool. Just making sure it's universally terrible.
Speedy's gonna like lift open the lid a little bit. And
That's very clearly a Vistani.
closes it. So that's a Vistani head.
You think they
Maybe
own
that's
the
the
cart?
owner of the cart outside. Speedy's gonna open it again, and is like the head like how's the head situated? Is it, like on the side on?
I think it'd fit better on its side, actually.
Speedy's just gonna reach out and turn the head slightly.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you touching it?
Are you trying to see if you recognize it?
Yeah.
History check, I guess.
Speedy. That's
How often do you interact with Vistani?
After the initial, you got pranked, bro, trying to get out of Barovia. Probably visited Madame Ava for a time. And I think that would have been it. So 14.
Okay. 14? I do believe you very distinctly do not recognize this Vistani, which is to say you have seen most Vistani in Barovia. It's a very small place. You would have had a chance to, like, you know, at least pass by somebody and give a precursory idea of, like, who is here. You do not recognize this person, which is a pretty good sign that he is from outside of Barovia.
I think this Vistani came from the outside.
Oh.
I've never seen him before.
So somebody decapitated him and then brought him home.
Well, someone decapitated him and then, like, Bartholomew, like, sniffs his fingers, embalmed his head.
I mean, all things considered, he's quite handsome still.
That's kind of morbid, Maraska.
Well, I'm sorry.
Your poor brother is already stressed up enough,
He
isn't
went to school where he saw corpses all the time.
Or Maybell, like, looks over at you and kind of, like, squints, like...
I'm sorry. I do a lot of reading.
And the things that you uncover in your reading is decapitated head. Handsome, yay or nay?
I'm just saying. I'm sorry. You said there was a table and a desk.
There's a desk. It's
Okay.
one surface.
Silme's gonna go sit down in the chair at the desk and attempt to see if she can find any papers with writing on it or anything.
Okay. You can start going through some drawers and things. And you will open up a drawer and see a bottle in the bottom drawer. Like, all of the top drawers are just kind of empty, or I guess they wouldn't be empty. They'd have, like, writing material in them. But the bottom drawer, which is, you know, usually the largest drawer, has, like, a wide-bottomed bottle. And the rest of you don't recognize the language that is, like, etched onto the side of it. But when you look at it, you can read it because you are under the effects of comprehend languages. And it says, Kazan's get-along glass.
Can I smell it?
Yeah, you pick it up and kind of give it a sniff, uncork it, and a light will float out of the neck of the bottle and just kind of, like, float there in front of you briefly. And then it just kind of sends different beams of light out through the room. And each beam will connect with the chest of a different person in the room. It'll connect with Kefris, with you, with Bartholomew, with Maybell, with Irina. And, like, they just kind of move as though they're looking for something. And these white beams of light will all disappear except for the ones that are connecting with Bartholomew and Irina, and they will turn red. And then there is a flash of light, and Bartholomew and Irina are both gone.
That's a good time for a break, huh, friends?
Time for a break.
I hate this so much. much.
So I'm gonna be rolling my new character. He is a gnome warlock.
So,
Sorry. Yeah.
thank you to everybody who has stopped by to come and enjoy this game, as my sister does the thing she told me not to do, which is touch stuff without finding out what it was first. And, kittens. But we are going to try and be back in 5 to 10 minutes. So don't go no place unless this is to grab food, grab drink, grab a friend, possibly go to bit.ly, pick up some adventure merch. bit.ly/adventure merch. And you can also check us out on Discord, Patreon, places where you can find audio casts. Feel free to leave us a review and let us know how we are doing, if there's anything else that we can do to improve. And we will see you guys once we return. So don't go no place. All right, everybody. Hello, everybody, and welcome back from our break. I had a little scritchy in my throat, but I believe we are now standing in a wizard's tower, -2 people. Oh, what's going on?
That's true. Y'all were standing in a wizard's tower when a ball of light came out of a bottle and poofed away Bartholomew and Irina. And for a moment, you just kind of stood there in shock. Yeah, and then as you look down at the bottle, you see there are now 2 figures inside.
What did you
Gingerly
do?
set it down.
What did you do?
Everything's fine.
No!
She sets the cork down next to it. It says a get-along bottle.
Kazan's get-along glass.
So what it says on the glass is the wizard's get-along glass. I'm going to look down in it, and I'm going to wave.
Yeah, and I think this is a good time to cut to Bartholomew and Irina. The 2 of you land in a strange translucent room. There's no furniture, there's nothing inside here. It's just very large and very echoey. And as your feet land on to this glass, you hear clink clink. And then like the whole room kind of spins as the bottle is moved, and you are placed on a desk, and you see Silme's enormous face peek down and wave at you.
If Silme could zoom in and enhance, Bartholomew is glowering at her with his arms crossed.
And Irina will look over at you and say, "What did you do?"
Me? I didn't do anything.
She's going to glare at you with her jaw set. And if she were a player, she'd be making an insight check right now. But she's not, so I'm just going to decide what happens. She's going to say, "I believe you, but I don't like it. This doesn't make any sense to me."
If anything, you should be... And then he points at the giant face of Silme. Asking her what she did.
All right, she will walk over to the glass and kind of clink on it with her knuckles and point at Silme, and Silme can't hear what she's saying.
I believe you need to get along.
That's still way too loud.
Yeah, it's way too loud. It's just like the screen would be shaking right now if that was the case. Or if we were like watching a movie of this, the screen would be shaking from within the bottle. And both of you like put your hands up over your ears.
Sister.
Yes, brother?
So in your letter, you let me know that whenever you do magic-related things, you always test them out and know exactly how things are going to go, right? You make sure to triple-check your steps.
Right.
So that way
when
mishaps
I cast
don't
a spell,
happen.
this is not me casting a spell.
The bottle
okay.
was in your hands. And I believe when we were outside, there was a very loud, Kefris, Kefris, stop touching things if you don't know what they are, Kefris.
Kefris.
That one.
We need to get along here, okay? I know that you are upset at me right now, but I think it's very important that you trust me, because if we don't, I think we might end up in there as well.
Can you fix it?
Oh, yes. I don't know. Okay, to be honest, I don't know, but I think I know. I'm going to start looking for notes.
I'm going to go over here for a little bit. And he is just going to go over and he's looking at armor. That is what he's up to.
All right, so Kefris goes over to sulk by the armor. Meanwhile, inside of the bottle, Irina has gotten as far away from Bartholomew as she possibly can, and she is just glowering.
Bartholomew has like walked to the opposite end of the bottle and has sunk down. He's just sitting there, like thinking.
Silme's gonna flick the bottle.
Next to Bartholomew?
Yes.
All right.
What? Why? We are minuscule. Every single motion you are doing is killing us. I'm going to punch you when I get out of here.
For the audio cast, Silme is making a lot of very emphatic motions, encouraging them to make up. Or make out. I don't know. I my lip reading is pretty poor.
Hey, you want to make out?
And then this is turned into an anime. We cut immediately to Bartholomew on the ground with a handprint on his cheek.
It was worth a shot. But anyway, Bartholomew looks over at Irina, who's probably glaring at him.
She's facing away from you.
Listen, if I did anything to offend you, I apologize. Was it what I said at the church?
Bartholomew, I haven't been fair to you. You are... Being around you is... She's gonna pull on the cords on her arm. When we first met, we got along so well. And that was nice because I don't get to meet very many new people here in Barovia, and I like to have friends. I didn't have many friends.
I can relate to that. I guess it's just where we grew up, but not many people either stayed around too long or never really got to know anyone. It was...
Yes. I thought it was just that, but the more I think about it, the more similar it is to the way that I felt when I was around Strahd, before I knew who she was.
Say what?
You aren't doing some sort of charming thing, are you?
For the audiocast listeners indoors making these really weird goo eyes at the camera, and I
don't even look at him anymore.
I'm just a guy who's also a hunter from Vallaki. I don't even know how to charm a woman. With or without magic. I've been hunting for a very long time, okay?
I feel like I'm going crazy. I feel like I already know you.
I don't know. It felt like that too for me, but we're both soulless, right?
I thought I was. Honestly, I don't even remember what my childhood was like. I don't remember anything that happened before I went to go live in the village of Barovia. And
Nope.
everyone thought I was soulless, but as time went on, I felt more and more, and I began to cry, I began to laugh, and that is not what people without souls do.
Yeah, the soulless around the village, typically they don't show emotion, but also most of their tasks are repetitive at most. There was that bartender back in Barovia. I forget his name, but that was a clear indication he was soulless. There was like nothing there.
Always cleaning those glasses.
Even the dirty clean ones. Sorry. There's... I don't know what's going to happen. Ever since I met up with the Malrescas, my life has been, for the past 3 days, weirder than normal. So maybe a soul in a soulless person might not be too unheard of. I'm not doing anything magical. I wouldn't even know where to start. It was, I guess, just a coincidence. I blurted out that name.
Could you roll me a history check?
Rare. Oh, Bartholomew. 15.
15?
Yeah.
Okay. while you're sitting there, looking down at Irina, who has since sunk to her knees and just kind of is sitting there dejectedly, looking a little bit like a lost child, you are brought back to a memory of finding a child very similar to this by the lake.
Wait, you said you don't remember anything from your childhood,
I
right?
do not. No.
There was a girl by the lake near Vallaki. We used to play together.
She
Good.
squints up at you, as though she's trying to access some distant memory.
She disappeared one day. And I have never seen her since.
By a lake?
Yes.
And there was someone else there. He
She
picked
was...
up a rock.
Yeah.
And she's gonna like kind of put a hand on her forehead as though like this is giving her a headache trying to think of this. Bartholomew, have I seen you before?
You might have when you were younger. She hasn't seen me without my bandana on, right?
I don't think so, no.
Yeah, he takes off his bandana. You might be Isaac's sister.
I think that's a good time to cut to Silme and Kefris.
No, we're good. Yeah, no, we're okay processing all
No, go back to that one.
What exactly is Silme doing during all of this?
Silme is, once they start talking, Silme does a thumbs up, and then she's gonna start looking through, like, see if she can find any paperwork with any notations on it.
Okay.
I think she'll actually leave a piece of parchment as well, just as like a good faith. Here, I'm not here to take things. I'm gonna leave this here.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I could try and look through parchments, books, anything I can find.
All right. Kefris, you're poking around this animated armor. Excuse me.
What?
You're poking around this armor.
It's just armor.
God damn it, Wing.
It's just armor.
What? So, looking at this armor, does it look like roughly around my size? Like if I was standing next to the armor, would it be roughly as tall as I am? Or is the torso at least the same?
How tall is Kefris?
Kefris is... Previously, I said that he was over 6 feet, but when I checked, he is 5'11", I believe.
All right. The armor looks like it would be a little bit big compared to you. Just a little. It seems like it was fitted for a particular person.
Well, whoever it was doesn't need it anymore. And so I am going to see if I can try and take its breastplate.
Mm-hmm. All right. It seems like it is connected to the rest of the armor with hinges.
That's fine. I'll just remove the other pieces if I can.
All right. As you do so, and you look inside the breastplate itself, there is some sort of clockwork mechanism on the inside.
Oh.
Yeah, and like cogs and wheels and a Tesla coil.
That's a lot going on in there.
What?
I thought I could possibly wear this breastplate, but it seems like it's a little occupied. And I'll kind of like show the inside, how it is just all of these crazy mechanical workings.
Oh, I have no idea how that works.
I don't either.
Perhaps it's best to just...
Leave it. Yeah.
Arcana check, Silme.
Yeah! Nine.
What is the deal? What is going on with your Arcana checks tonight? Yeah, you have no idea how that works.
That seems very mechanical, not magical. Maybe a bit of both, but...
I'm just going to kind of set him up over here. Just make it look like he's, like, this armor is sort of just sitting in a corner. Like
Wait,
a sad scarecrow.
Isn't that sort of the same thing that attacked us in the house?
I think so. Has the
Can you
same
detach?
helmet.
Can you perhaps detach one of its legs? So if it does come alive, it's difficult for it to do anything?
That is a very, very smart idea.
Thank you.
And before he does that, though, he is going to go over to Silme, and he'll say, I haven't really had a chance to talk to you about the letter, and he will just bring her into a hug.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Sorry for what?
For being judgmental. When I didn't have any right to be, I didn't know anything about it. I was just scared, and I was scared for you. But you are your own person. You can make your own decisions. And I'm sorry for that. And I'm also sorry I didn't question it. After Dad passed and you said you were all right.
Oh. I mean, I don't think anyone was.
I don't
Not
think anyone was either, but that still doesn't mean I shouldn't have been there. So,
It's alright.
I'm going to do my best to be here now.
Thank you, Kefres.
Just, if anything magical does happen, you're the go-to. Because clearly, I cannot break things magically by just hitting them with my maul. So, unless, and he kind of like looks over at the bottle. No, that probably wouldn't work.
We don't want them small forever.
No. No, we do not. We kind of need them. Look, without them, we don't know where the fuck we're going. I have no idea.
It's very true. Well, we're being honest. What's with you and Irina?
I don't know what you mean.
You seem like you're getting very comfortable with her.
I mean, we've been on the road together pretty much non-stop for the last 2.5 days.
Mm-hmm.
Learn to make idle conversation with people.
Right, but you gave her some of your rope.
In the same way...
But that's none of my business if you don't want to share. I understand that, personal things can remain personal. It's not an issue with me. I just am curious.
In the same way that I want to be here for you, Irina is also somebody who looked like she could use some help. So I told her about Ilmater, and the easiest way that you can possibly show somebody about the church is the cords. So I helped her tie her cords, and she just seems to have taken a liking to them. So until we can get her a set of her own, I will go with one.
All right. She's gonna look over at Maybell.
Maybell gives you the same sidelong glance with her huge owl eyes.
I don't like that one bit. You stop that.
She blinks apologetically.
I would love to see that. Do I find any notes or anything? Just blank pages?
Regrettably, you don't find any notes up here. But the pages that you're shuffling through, they seem fresh. As opposed to the, like old, cracked, yellowed parchment you found downstairs. Give me an insight check.
Apparently I just could roll like shit forever. Insight is a 9.
9?
9.
Okay. It doesn't make any sense to you why somebody would have paper here and not have written on it. Maybe they took the notes with them.
She's going to maybe take out her quill and try to write on them and try to write a note to Speedy and Irina, just saying, "You're doing great," so she doesn't have to yell at them.
Cue cards. God, I want to see that scene. Nights in the courtyard. So yes, you go ahead and write a note for them. We'll cut back to the inside of the bottle. And Irina is like looking at her hands and says, "My brother, that would explain a few things. The Solace will fixate on things. If he lost a sister when he was young, then that could create an obsession."
I mean, he should have had an obsession about his arm, but like, when his sister disappeared, he was found outside of the walls. Apparently, a wolf attacked him. We assumed she had died.
But she didn't die. She wound up somewhere outside of Barovia. The village, not the valley.
Don't get my hopes up.
If only I were found outside of Barovia. You risked your life for me. You were just a child.
It was also very dumb, let's be honest.
Have things changed much?
No.
And she laughs. And there's something that just feels weirdly familiar about all of this. But you probably chalk it up to you hung out when you were kids.
Well, it's nice to know you're alive. It's good that we got you out of the town, but that's a moment for something. That's something I need to discuss with the Malreskas if we ever have to step back inside that town.
I'm sorry for the way I treated you.
I mean, it's fine. A healthy amount of, not superstition, cautiousness.
Cautiousness.
Yes.
Yeah,
In
we all have to have some of that here.
Is everything all right between us now?
She will look up at you and put out a hand.
Bartholomew walks over, extends his.
Yep. And she'll like grab it in the hunter's forearm salute and kind of use your arm to hike herself up to her feet. And then she will pull you into a hug.
He wraps his arms around her and pats her shoulder.
All right. Malrezka's the bottle starts to glow.
Oh, they're hugging!
Yes, the minuscule figures seem to be hugging, and they are enveloped in light, and that light begins to float out of the neck of the bottle. And then in a similar fashion to before, 2 lights will beam out from that little ball, and then Bartholomew and Irina are deposited back in the places that they were before.
Oh my god, sister, you've done it! You magicked it out!
I mean, I'm sure I did something, but I didn't do anything. They did all of the work. Congratulations. You've worked it out.
Oh, no, we'll let you have this one, Malrezka.
No.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
No. I did nothing. I did nothing.
Well,
And then she works the thing.
Let's leave that behind.
What does that even say?
It says... Should I say his name? Have we said his name up here?
no.
No.
Haven't.
Hazan's Get Along Bottle.
Yeah, as soon as you say Kazan, that that suit of armor in the corner starts to rattle, and the places where the armor meets, where there would be gaps, flash, and there is kind of a spark of electricity that goes up and down its body, and it will jump or kind of jiggle to its feet, and look over at you guys and put a fist over its chest.
Oh!
There's just like the crossbow out pointed.
Hello!
Hello! Are you the servant?
It will nod jerkily.
Oh.
Oh.
Wonderful. Is your master here?
It like moves its head back and forth as though it's scanning the room, and then will shake its head.
Cool. We are looking for an item. An item of power. Perhaps something to do with stars? Can you help us find it?
It seems to be processing.
We were told to come look for you, big fella. Sorry I tried to take you apart.
A light will project from inside its head, and a little rectangle of that same electrical energy that you saw wreathe the building appears. Only that electrical energy seems to be forming words.
Oh, fascinating. Brother, did you see a potato in there by any chance?
What?
What?
No, there was no potato in there. There was a lot of like wiry things.
He was trying to find electricity that works through...
The words say, input passcode.
Oh.
I wonder if there's a button we can hold for 5 to 10 seconds and just reset the whole thing.
Could we just say the wizard's name again? How easy would that be?
Try it.
Kazan!
Malrezka! There you go.
With the mention of Kazan, it will blink twice and then say, passcode received, and then and he turns around and starts to jumble around in the side of the room, and it will put out a hand onto the wall, which begins to glow briefly, and that light will enter into the stone and just sort of shine around it, and he pulls the stone out of the wall, and then he actually reaches into the hole, and his gauntleted hand actually can't reach into the hole. And so, like, he sits there for a second, and you can hear, like, whirring inside the armor as though he's processing how to deal with this issue. And then he forms a fist, and he just busts through the wall. And then his gigantic gauntlet comes out in a fist over something. And he turns around and approaches Kefris with his fist out.
I put my hand out for our new best friend.
All right, he drops something cold and metal into your hand. And when you look down, you find a platinum sun on a chain with an enormous ruby in the center. And you can feel radiant power coming from this.
I'll look up at the robot and say, he would have been proud. I don't know this guy at all, or if he really would be proud, but it seemed like something cool to say.
You know how long you've been here?
And it will create that screen again. And, like, numbers will appear, but they seem kind of glitched. Like, 600 something. And, like, the last two numbers keep on changing as though, like, there must be some sort of corruption in its memory.
Let's get about the head.
Do you know what the head is in the trunk?
Data not available.
Oh, lovely.
May we borrow an item from this? May I read the books downstairs? Is that acceptable if I borrow books from downstairs?
Borrow?
Borrow.
You said borrow. Okay.
I said borrow. You see, I'm a training wizard.
It will whir as though processing for a little bit, and then it will produce a copy of that contract that you had before, and kind of like zoom in and scroll around until it gets to the part where it says that you're not allowed to remove items from the tower.
Oh, well, what about this item that you've given us?
The animated armor kind of turns its head to the side, looks off, and then shrugs.
Are you going to attack us if we try to leave with this item that you've given us?
Accessing data.
It's no longer his item. He gave it to us. If it's a gift, then it's ours now, right?
Accessing data.
Perfect. Could you give me some of the books that are downstairs? All right, I'm just asking. You know, training wizard and all. This is lovely. Have you been this tidy?
Wait.
Oh. Is there someone else here? Besides
Accessing data.
5 of us.
Data not available.
I'm gonna look at the ceiling real quick. Given our, like...
What are you looking for?
If there's any Doru-esque looking motherfuckers on the ceiling.
I have ruined you guys. No, you do not see any Doru-esque looking motherfucker up there on the ceiling. You do not. However, you do hear the howl of a wolf.
It's time.
Like outside?
Yeah, of course.
Speedy's gonna go to the window where the wolf howl is and peek out.
Yep, it's the door, or the window facing the inlet towards the shore that you guys came from. And you can see the hulking figure of a werewolf just standing on that land bridge. And it seems to have located your cart. And there are a couple of other wolves stalking around it. And it, as like it lowers its head from that howl, you can see that it has a big long gash over one side of its face.
Laszlo. Yeah,
Sorry?
Speedy's gonna pull out the silver dagger, walk over to the elevator.
What was it? What was out there?
Werewolves.
Irina goes and stands beside you.
We could
Who
stay
is?
here.
Irina. She just forms up behind you. She's got her swords out.
We could stay here, and they can swarm the tower, and we can die inside the tower.
Metal friend, will you join us in defending your tower? You're a piece of
Self-preservation
shit, and I
protocol.
hate you now.
It deactivates and falls into a jumble of metal.
That was quite rude, Kefris. He's been very kind to us.
We're going to die!
Well, that doesn't mean we can't be polite about it.
Yes, it does! This is exactly the time not to be polite about it.
Well,
What?
you're right. All right, onto the cart.
Okay. Okay.
Nazik.
Nothing happens.
Azan.
The elevator begins to lower.
Oh, I mean, I learned how to do it backwards and everything, but that's fine.
You basically said Kazan with the wish that you would be taken to the bottom floor.
Yeah.
All right, you are taken to the bottom floor.
Gosh, I
How
hope he's
did
not
you
a
do
bitch.
that?
He's magic.
Is everyone magic? Everyone?
She looks at Irina.
Everyone can be that. Believe in their hearts.
Um,
No, not everyone is magic.
You sounded really convincing. Look.
Bartholomew snaps at everyone.
There are 3 wolves, 4 wolves, and a tall wolf man.
We are going to break their line on the cart.
Oh,
We are going to head to Krezk as fast as possible.
okay. Put me in the front.
Oh, I was gonna stand on top and shoot at them while we go.
Well,
I can drive. Sister, we can throw open the small little window. That way you are still inside of the cart, but you can shoot out.
oh, I need to be in the front so I can shoot in front.
Well, we have our horses. Are you going to go in front of the horses?
No, I can shoot in a line in front of them. But, well, I guess I could do it from a point. But I need to be able to see where I'm shooting so I
Yes.
don't light the horses on fire. However, this is going to be... Remember the... Oh, you didn't see it. Speedy, do you remember the thing that I did in the church, the fire line thing?
Yeah.
Do you think that would be successful, or do you think that the horses would freak out?
Horses would freak out if you do it in front of them, but if you do it to the side where the blinders are, it should be alright.
All right.
We're going to drift the cart.
We're gonna bend the bullet. Okay. All right.
Deja vu.
So, run to the cart. God, I really want to know what's in the other cart. Run to the cart. I will lay down some fire as we go to the cart. Not fire, like pew pew fire. And then we will get in the cart. I'll peek out the side. Maybell. She looks at Maybell.
How far out are the wolves and them?
They are standing on that land bridge that connects the island that the tower is on, basically blocking your way out.
Would you say they're within 120 feet?
100%, yes.
Speedy gets on top of the cart and he sighs and takes the silver he takes his short sword out and you see him cut along his forearm and he lets the blood drip along the crossbow and you hear a zzz as the crossbow erupts in electricity.
Whoa, you must really not like this guy.
Kablam.
Oh! Were you conceived during a lightning storm? Anyways, let us go.
Everyone in the cart.
Yeah.
Cart. I'll move aside, sister, so that way you can do your thing. Speedy.
Right.
Hold on, I suppose.
Maybell, stay close.
I'm sorry for your upholstery. And he stabs his short sword into the top of the cart to stabilize himself.
That's fine. At this point, that's fine. It's not my cart.
Silme's gonna stand on with the door open. I'm gonna say it opens backwards so she can like be in full view of everyone. She's gonna say, "Hey, wolves! Fuck you!" She's gonna fire
Several
magic
K9
missiles at them.
All right, everybody roll initiative.
Oh, deja vu.
Higher on the beat.
17.
16.
17. For Speed.
14.
16 for Silme.
1 4.
14 for
Yes.
Oh yeah, Irina's here too. That's a 5 for Irina. A+ on being ready there, buddy. All right. So, my understanding is that everybody was standing inside,
Yes.
but Bartholomew, you made it sound like you'd already gone outside and gotten onto the cart.
Oh, I thought we had like proceeded outside and then we're like mounting this offensive.
I figured that you guys were still inside because if you had
Yeah.
gone outside, the wolves would have seen you and started approaching.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like,
So
I'll
this
take
is our
everything that you
dash.
said as your plan for what you're going to do, and retcon a little and say that everybody is indoors and we're just about to bust open.
Okay.
Right. Silme will bust open and do the thing then. Right?
Yep.
Is it okay? Is everyone okay with this plan?
I'll cover you guys until you get to the cart and then I'll follow.
Let's go.
All right.
She smacks Kepris. No, I'm kidding. Let's do this shit.
No, that's because I'm weird.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that they didn't necessarily expect the door to bust open just now.
Okay.
So I'm going to give everybody one action in initiative. So that would put Speedy at the top of the initiative.
Okay. Oh, I got a surprise. Man, which one is this?
One action. Move, standard, or bonus.
Oh, I should. I'm going to use a bonus action to let some of that blood drip down onto the short sword, and that starts crackling as well.
Can,
You-
are you? What are you?
Hmm?
Are you a?
Blood hunter.
You can only do one weapon.
What are you?
You
Yeah.
can do 2, actually. Yeah. You have to
I
just do
literally-
it on separate rounds. That's why.
Oh, I see.
Blah, 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 blah.
But then don't you
Okay.
also have to take the health point drop
Yeah.
a second time?
Yep.
Cool. That's it.
All right.
I still
So
have more than Silme. Just gonna say.
So that is what you do on your turn. And next is going to be Silme. So you're going to be shooting some magic missiles.
Magic missiles.
What you
How many?
see is a werewolf and 2 wolves.
Ooh, could I say put the silver dagger then? Is that a short sword?
Sure.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah, I will give a pop to each one of them. So,
Okay.
werewolf 4, wolf 1, 4, wolf 2, 5. By the way, look at my beautiful.
Ooh. I like it. The dagger dice.
Yeah. They're ice bolts, but
Nice.
they work. Magic missile.
Magic.
4, 4, and 5. All right.
Go, go, go!
They don't like that at all. All right, and now it's Kefris.
I am going to run to the cart, and we did the 3-point turn, so that way it is ready to go. So I am going to see about running and hopping on and getting ready to yell, "Yeah!" Once everybody is on the cart.
Okay. I'm on board for that. And Irina will do something similar. She will jump onto the cart and kind of hang off of the back of it with her long sword out, ready to kind of cover your... Or actually, she'll stand on the back of it with her long sword out, just kind of ready to whack anything that gets close. And then that is the end of the surprise round. So at the beginning, at the top of the round is a wolf who is going to come darting in and start harrying the horses. All right, that'll definitely hit.
And so we are in the process of the Hia, because everybody got onto the cart, right? All right.
Yep.
Cool.
Well, I mean, actually, no. Bartholomew and Silme are still getting ready to get onto the cart. It's going to be one more round before you're actually here.
Well, actually, it'll be this round because
It'll be this
I'll
round.
go before you.
The Hia.
Exactly. He wants to hear. Okay. And wolf damage. Ugh. Ouch, ouch, ouch. This hurts. This hurts the horse. Okay. So a wolf latches onto a horse's leg, and that horse begins to scream. Speedy,
Yes.
the two of you are sitting right next to each other in initiative.
Oh, Speedy darts out and will look at the wolf attacking the horse, point his crossbow, and pop it.
Okay.
Will a... Sorry. What now? Wait, no, it's actions. 18?
18 will definitely hit.
6, 7 plus. So, 7 points of piercing damage, 3 points of lightning damage.
Okay. You gank that wolf. It just falls like it. I mean, like lightning is surrounding this bolt, right?
Mhm.
All right, so that bolt just catches it in the neck, and you see lightning kind of make all of its muscles tense, and then it just slumps to the floor. Anything else on your turn?
Yeah, I've got 2 more attacks.
Coo.
Speedy will yell for Silme to go, spins, points down the inlet towards the other wolf. Will a 17 hit?
Yes, it will.
9 points of piercing damage, 2 points of electricity, or lightning.
All right. You gank another wolf.
And
Second
then
first, same as the first.
he, using his last one, points the last bolt at Laszlo and fires. 18?
Yes.
Fuck you, Laszlo. Nice. 3, 7. Jesus. 11 points of piercing damage and 2 points of electricity or lightning.
All right. I feel like you just entered vats and just went. All right. And that bolt will catch him right in the collarbone, and he will snarl and reach up and pull that bolt out and kind of snap it in his hand.
And I'm gonna use the rest of my movement to get on top of the cart.
Alrighty. So that is Silme, and now Laszlo.
No,
is
I didn't go.
Oh, sorry. Silme, is your turn. Why do I always want to skip you?
Oh
We
no.
even acknowledged her, and then we're like, all right, Silme, Laszlo's turn.
I said
Silme's
Silme's turn. Ugh.
So how wide is this land bridge? That is
How wide is it?
yes.
Oof.
More than 5 feet.
It's not on the map, so I'm gonna say 15 feet wide.
Cool. So Silme is going to grab in her bag, and she's gonna pull out a red dragon scale and kind of write with it in the air, and pick a place that is like 15 feet in front of him, but still within 30 feet of me, I guess. A place that he is in a line of, and she's just gonna be like, "You're an asshole, and I don't like you." And she's gonna catch the scorching ray. Not the scorching ray. The
Agni Scorcher.
yes, that's one. The
The
Scorcher.
Scorcher.
Aggie.
Yeah,
Aggie.
Aggie Scorcher. And he needs to make a dex save.
All right, he can do that.
Can he? Can he really?
I mean, he'll try.
Yeah.
8.
Oh, sweet. So he fails. On a failed save. Okay, nothing special. Okay, so that's 10 points of damage. No, 11 points of damage from that. And there is a line of fire as she jumps onto the cart, and Maybelle comes and latches onto her arm. And she's gonna put her in the cart. You stay there. She gives her a very stern.
I imagine she flies in and looks really majestic and lands on your shoulder, and then you just pin her wings to her sides, and then you lay her down on her back with her little talons up in the air, just you stay there. Her little talons ooh.
All right,
All right.
go.
And now it's Laszlo's turn. And he is going to rush forward on all fours. And Bartholomew, you said you're on the top?
Yeah.
Okay. He's going to attempt to attack the person driving the cart, because that seems like a smart thing to do.
Yay.
Did you rate? No. I'm done.
He is going to claw at Kefris. Ooh, that doesn't look good. 8 will not hit you.
No. It's that kind of not
And,
looks good.
And he is going to snap at Bartholomew's foot with his teeth. Does a 16 hit you?
Yep.
All right. Nine piercing damage. Do me a favor and do a Constitution saving throw.
We'll talk about that later.
All right. Let me know in chat what you got.
Mm-hmm.
Private chat. Indoor, you're very close to your microphone.
Yes, I am. I'm holding my breath. Breath was baited.
All right. And that is Laszlo's turn. So Kefris.
All right. Well, we can't really hear with this asshole right here.
Oh, you 100% can Hia with that asshole right there. It's gonna provoke an opportunity attack, but you can Hia with that asshole right there.
Is he on the cart?
No.
Or next to
He's
it?
next to it.
He's next to the cart. Kind of off to the side where he can access Kefris and Bartholomew.
If we run, he will just run and come to get us. And then he's going to bring everybody with him, if he hasn't already. So, as a bonus action, I am going to rage and get new pointy teeths. And I am going to take my maul and do a reckless attack against this chucklefuck. And see if I can try and do him a smash.
All right. As you rage, there is a blinding pain in your head. And Bartholomew, you watch as Kefris kind of like doubles over. And when he comes back up to snarl at Laszlo, you can see that he's got 2 horns jutting out of his head.
Qua. Indra's so happy.
I got a natural 20.
No.
Fuck that guy.
Ah!
That's fun. Roll for me, please.
Yes. Oh my god. So using a maul is usually 2d6, but since I crit, I get 4d6 instead.
Welcome to Calum's world.
Let's see it.
And then I get 2 more d6 of...
Radiant.
I'm going to say necrotic.
Ooh.
Because I can choose whether it's radiant or necrotic. So I'm going to choose necrotic for this one.
My.
So... Not that dice. These dice. And then... What do I add for rage damage on things?
2.
I had 2 at this point. Alright, so that is going to be... 4, 16, 21 points of bludgeoning damage, and then 6... and then 8 points of necrotic damage.
Okay.
And at this point, it is just kind of like this very deep red color, more of like fresh blood being spilled than it is the more lightish red that I have given before when I hit things.
Dang.
I just snarl.
I imagine this maul comes in at a low angle and just like thump hits it like with a meaty thud right up under the rib cage. And you can see as the wind is kind of knocked out of him, and that dark energy just spider webs up his body as though like kind of following the pathways of his veins.
And I am going to look at him, my teeth very sharp, horns on my head now. And I'll look at him and say, "You don't want to fight him. You want to fight me."
Dang. All right. Wolf is dead. On Irina's turn, she's gonna peek around the carriage, wondering why no go, and see what's happening up there, and kind of curse under her breath. And she's going to run around the other side of the carriage, hop on, and take up the reins. And she will, and the carriage will pull away suddenly. And Laszlo's going to make an opportunity attack against frickin' Kefris because, boy, that was scary.
I thought he hopped off to...
Oh, Kefris hopped off the carriage?
In order
I
to
figured
hit
he
him
was
under,
just-
if it was under the ribs, I would have been
fuck.
able to either I would have had to get off or lean around the side.
Okay. All right. Irina would not have done that then. She wouldn't leave somebody behind. So instead of picking up the reins and hieing off, she is going to run over to him and swing her long sword at him. And it's occurring to me that this is a useless endeavor. She runs over to him and starts swinging her long sword and her short sword at him and just like cutting into his side. And Bartholomew, you watch as his flesh just closes up almost immediately after the sword cuts through him. Mechanically, he is immune to bludgeoning, piercing, slugging from mundane weapons with no magic and no silver. This is a werewolf thing. And I will let Irina use her turn, letting us know that. And at the top of the round, it is Speedy.
There is a sudden downburst of wind as I cast Zephyr Strike. And you see Speedy hop off the top of the carriage with the dagger in the air, thrusting it down. 18 plus 6, 7.
Yes,
20,
that'll definitely hit.
For 7 points of piercing damage, or from a silvered weapon.
Mm-hmm.
3 points of lightning damage, and then 7 points of force damage. So 17 points in total.
All right. He howls in pain as this dagger plunges into him, and you can hear sizzling and smell burning flesh as his lycanthrope skin is pierced by this silvered weapon. And you look up and you see fear in his eyes.
You shouldn't have run from your trial moon.
He swallows that fear and snarls at you. Anything else for you, Speedy?
I kick him in the groin. No. There's no immunity to that motherfucker.
Immunity to bludgeoning damage. Silme.
So as he does this, did you jump down?
He had to stab down.
Yeah. You see just coming down, raining from above, this white, the same missiles that she did before. And she's gonna cast magic missile again at second level this time. And she's just kind of doing, above damage because everyone's down on the ground now. But before she gets out of the she kind of steps up, and as she's stepping up, she's like, "You stay there. You stay. You have 1 hit point." And then she's gonna get back up.
Somewhere a black dragonborn is getting a nosebleed.
5, 4, 9, 13 damage.
Okay. And that's force damage?
Yes.
Magic!
Magic.
All right, there's just a rain of magic missiles that come down and pelt him.
And then she sees Kefris and is just like, that's it. Just for you audiocast listeners, the look is shock
Slack
and
jaw.
fear.
All right. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Next up is Laszlo, who was in the middle of giving Bartholomew a very scary teeth bear when a bunch of fucking magic just starts dropping on his head, and he will duck and snarl and howl in rage and pain, and finally he just has had enough, and he will disengage and run. And he just starts bounding off towards the tree line. Kefris, it's now your turn.
How far away is he?
He has gone 40 feet.
Oh, shit. I cannot catch him. So I will just look at everyone and just back on the cart. And then if everyone is on, I will rage these animals forward for us to get the fuck out of here. That's it. I'm just planning on leaving. I'd have to hold my action to do that.
Hold your action to do what?
To
To get on the cart next.
Yeah, to cart away.
Yes.
Okay.
Does anybody else have plans to do anything else other than jump on the cart? And
Jump on the cart.
FO.
You're not gonna shoot Laszlo one last time.
Yeah.
I am gonna shoot Laszlo one last time.
I have a limited supply of bolts that don't refresh, so
Fair enough.
This is fair.
If he is within 60 feet, I am going to I'm gonna chance it. I'm gonna chance it and I'm gonna cast Ice Knife. So
Okay.
she's just gonna grab a drop of sweat from her head and flick it at him. Gross. So that's not great. That's a 10. Oh,
A
wait.
10 will miss.
Yeah, so okay, so and then he needs to make a on a hit the target on a hit or a miss. Okay, he needs to make a dex save for the explosion.
Oh, I see.
Because I don't have to be good. I just
Well,
have
yes.
to get close.
Danae, it is icy.
Ooh, shut up.
Oh, God.
Boo. Word jail.
Here we go.
So he needs to make a dex save.
Come where I belong. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
He needs to make a dex save.
Oh yeah, that's something that I need to do.
Yeah.
Sorry, like the fact that you were like poking around with your dice, I was all like, I'm just gonna wait patiently over here. Let us see. That is going to be a 15 on his save.
Dang it. Yeah, he definitely makes it.
All right.
Yeah, there's nothing that happens on a failed save. It just explodes right by him.
Nice.
Oh shit.
It's very thematic.
Yeah.
Ice shards go flying by him and he like ducks out of the way. And he spends the rest of his turn double moving to get into the tree cover. And you can see his hulking form growing distant.
Ugh.
And then Kefris's turn is after Laszlo's, so I suppose, yeah.
And as I because I did not hit anybody and nobody hit me, I come out of the rage to
Ugh.
All right.
We're still.
As you do so, you're like that headache is still there, but it is like not as sharp as it was before.
Okay.
And you probably self-consciously reach up to, or like, I don't know if you'd even know that like the horns thing happened,
No.
but you reach up to wipe sweat from your brow, and there's like a lump there.
Yeah.
And you rush the horses off into the direction of Krezk. It's starting to get late, but I have one more scene if you guys are up for it.
Sure.
Yeah, that's fine.
It takes you a little under an hour to get to Krezk from Lake Baratok. Irina seems to recognize the symbol that you got.
Oh.
And she'll be willing to tell you a little bit more about that next time.
I mean,
But,
I can identify it, but that's fine.
I mean, you can identify if you want. I don't know.
No, I'm not
do
gonna steal her
you
thunder.
know about the history of Barovia? I don't think so.
Yeah, maybe
I could make
know.
Bartholomew roll for that, but as we say
Wait, my one
about
thing-
Corey and Bart,
Keep them stupid.
Freedom! Okay, sorry, I'm getting a little excited here. Okay. Oh my gosh. All right, Irina will tell you a little bit about that later, but you roll up to... forget it. We'll have the Krezk scene next week. Let's do the scene with Irina.
Hurry.
I stay digging into my notes to pull out the item. All right, so you are still going at a pretty quick clip when who has the holy symbol?
Kefris.
Your acolyte,
Kefris.
bro.
I'm being really indecisive here. We'll deal with that later. It takes you a little while to get to Kefris. Less than an hour. Or Kefris. Krezk. Goddamn. Okay. Indecisive is what I am. Okay. The road branches north, and the trees kind of give way to a clearing, at the center of which is a very large hill, and the road kind of zigzags up to a city. And whereas Vallaki had these wooden palisades made out of logs and trees and things with pointed tops, this is a city made with stone walls. And above this city, kind of clinging to the mountain near it, you can see an abbey. And as you approach, you realize that it has gotten a lot colder as you have gone up in elevation, and you can see snow sort of dusting the rooftops within. And there is a bell that's ringing distantly from the abbey, and it's somber but somewhat welcoming after all of the fog and rain and muck of the road. And as you approach the gate, the gates are closed and locked tight. There are some windows where guards can peek out, but you don't see anybody.
Hello?
A guard will poke his head out. He's
Hello?
wearing a fur cap and is dressed a little bit more warmly than you have seen Barovians in the past. And he kind of looks suspiciously down at you and says, "What is your business in Krezk?"
We seek shelter. The sister of the Burgomaster of Barovia is in need of assistance.
And Irina will step out and hold up her ring, which he cannot see. And he says, "I will fetch the Burgomaster." And he disappears, and a few minutes later, a side door will open from the guard tower, and a well-dressed man walks out. He's got furs on, he has darker skin and a bald head. He approaches, he seems very well put together, and he says to you, "Can I assume that you are either allies or enemies of Strahd?"
Is there anyone else who doesn't fit that description here?
There are civilians caught in the crossfire.
We're ourselves definitely not allies. We are. Does that make us therefore enemies?
Enemies of Strahd?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I would use that as a descriptor of enemies of Strahd, yes.
Then that is what we are.
He will kind of clear his throat and say, "Come with me." And he will lead you into the guard tower. And the guards kind of look a little suspicious. They hold their spears a little tighter as you walk in, and he leads you up some stone stairs and leads you to a window and shows you Krezk, which is a tidy little town. You can see people who are herding sheep across little plains. You can see people cutting wood. You can see people tanning hides and working fields. And he says, Krezk is a self-contained community. No one needs to leave Krezk. Nobody needs to come in to Krezk. We rely on no one except for the winery. I am a man who has no time to deal with the machinations of Strahd. And if you are his enemy, then I cannot in good conscience let you into this city. However, as a nobleman, I am obligated by my honor and my station to offer you an alternative. As I said, we rely on no one except for the winery. Wine will keep the people in good spirits, and we have not received a shipment from them in several
while.
weeks. Is it the same with you?
Yes, we apparently down in the town of Borovia and Vallaki, there haven't been any wine shipments.
That probably means that we're still in good terms with them, and that we haven't slighted them in any way. I cannot let you into my city on these terms alone, but if you go to the winery and bring a shipment of wine to us, I am willing to open my gates to you.
Would we be able to rest for the night? Somewhere. Perhaps in a guard tower. Somewhere outside of the town. We're accosted on the road. I don't mean to push your hospitality, but I am concerned if we rest.
Roll me a diplomacy check.
I haven't done that in a long time.
What's diplomacy?
That's because it's not the thing. Persuasion?
Persuasion was back in 4th edition. I don't know what you're talking about.
Nuh-uh, it's in here too.
Oh, was diplomacy in 4th edition?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the reason why I get so confused. Wings lore, I ran a 4E game for several years. Scandalous, I know.
I rolled above a 10 once, and I just rolled an 8.
An 8?
It's the hot roll.
You can camp outside of the gate, and the guard will be obligated to protect you if anything happens. But I cannot let you in here. Not even the guard tower. It's too dangerous.
This is acceptable. Yes?
And thank you for your kindness.
Thank you.
He seems a little distrustful still, but he recognizes good manners when he sees them. Mm-hmm. And he just gives you a curt nod and will escort you out of the gate. And with a resounding boom, the guard tower door slams behind you as you are left outside of the gates of Krezk.
Malareskas, we might need to talk.
And that is where we're going to leave off.
God damn it, Speedy. You poop. Yuck. All right, so I would like to say thank you, Danae, for running this wonderful game week after week for us. This is incredible. It's spoopy, and I love it. And thank you to Bonus Stage Rob for the host. While we were playing, that was super cool to see. And thank you to everybody else who decided to stop by and visit this little game that we have going on. So, Danae, where can we find you? What do you do?
My name's Danae Keener. You can find me at DanaeKeener.com. I do nerdy drawings mostly related to D&D and stuff on this channel. I also play Coriander the Elegant Paladin on Mondays, so tune in for the homebrew game that Steven runs, and he does a very wonderful job at that. You can also find me here on Tuesdays running Curse of Strahd, which you already know. Once again, DanaeKeener.com.
All right, RJ.
Hey everybody, I am RJ here on the channel, but you can catch me at RJustice282 on Twitter and Twitch, where I tweet about the nerdy things in my life and sometimes stream video games. You can catch me on Monday as Caleb the Shadowkai Cleric during the Homebrew campaign, here as Speedy during Curse of Strahd, but you guys knew that. And on Sunday over at Pro Restarter's channel, where I play G3, a inquisitive robot who has a bow and is also a barista, a bowrista.
I'm proud of you. I loved it. LB.
Hi, I'm LBHackEmUp. More importantly, this is Ophi and this is Mina. All my stuff's on Twitter. You can find me at LBHackEmUp. And I mean, I've got a lot, but just check it out.
All right. And if you have made it this far, you probably already know who I am. But if you don't, hey fella. It's me, your buddy, your pal, your friend, the Indoor Adventurer, the showrunner here at Indoor Adventures, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Mondays, we have our homebrew campaign, which all of these lovely people and our dear friend Cyberwolf 1201 play in. Tuesdays, we got Curse of Strahd. Wednesdays are our community one-shot Wednesdays, so if you have a game that you are looking to run but don't have a place to play it, and our free Wednesdays, I'll play in your game. That sounds awesome. I want to do that. I don't believe that we are going to be having a game tomorrow night, so I am just going to be honing my art skills here and just kind of hanging out. I'm either going to draw or do editing on the next recap video, so I'm going to find out. We'll figure it out. I'll post a Twitter link and we'll see what people are interested in. And Thursdays, we have our Ghosts of Saltmarsh game, which, if you've made it to the end of this video, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Saltmarsh seems like it is the perfect place to possibly introduce a new corporate monolith. So if you are interested in possibly catching up on what happens in Saltmarsh, I would recommend that show, which is also here on the channel. Also, if you are interested, we have VODs that go up of all of these games, as well as audio casts and recordings that go up of all of these games at twitch.tv, or I guess the VODs are youtube.com/indooradventures. And then you can find all of our audio casts wherever audio casts can be found, also at Indoor Adventures. We also have a Patreon set up at patreon.com/indooradventures, where we do an after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from the community at large, but also from each other. So if we have a question, or if we possibly have a small notebook that is full of my red thread ideas that I then watched unfold to be true in front of me today, then you, as the viewer, can find out more about that. So it's a really cool way to support the show. Other than that, I believe that is it for the evening. So again, I want to say thank you to everybody for coming out and stopping by. Thank you to these awesome players and this wonderful GM, and we will see you guys next time. All right, everybody. Bye-bye.